The night the storm hit Haitian City, an entire empire nearly crumbled. The Liang Conglomerate, a business dynasty built over 3 generations, was on the brink of destruction. Stock prices plummeted, partners withdrew their trust, and the media declared that the fall of the Liang family had begun. But while the world watched the collapse, something impossible and miraculous happened. A soft voice returned to guide them. The voice of a woman they lost 2 years ago. Mother. Liang Meihua, the family matriarch, once known as the mind of the empire, had gone into a coma after a tragic accident. The 5 Liang brothers, though powerful CEOs in their industries, were never the same. Without her wisdom, conflicts rose, ego overshadowed loyalty, and the brothers who once promised to dominate the world together began drifting apart. Until that night, when the voice of the mother they loved and almost forgot echoed in the mind of the eldest son. Jian, the cold and eldest brother, was staring at the rain outside the boardroom window when he heard her. Her voice, gentle yet so clear, whispered, "Jian, do not sign the merger. It is a trap. Protect your brothers." His breath froze. Nobody else heard it, but Jian knew. It was her. And that was the moment everything changed. Through the storm and uncertainty, the 5 brothers came together again. Jian, the calculating strategist. Zhen, the tech genius. Rui, the charming investor. Han, the military-trained security magnate. And Ming, the youngest, an artistic soul with a gift for reading people. They gathered in their mother's quiet hospital room, surrounding her still and sleeping form. She guided them again that night. Not through a miracle of awakening, but through flashes of memory and the lessons she planted deep inside them. Words like, when one is weak, all must become strong. When the world closes the door, the family must open every window. Their challenge was greater than any deal or acquisition. A rival family, led by a ruthless CEO, Zheng Yu, had orchestrated the crash of their empire. He sought complete takeover, using insider betrayal, data theft, and political pressure to force the Liang family into public disgrace. The brothers soon learned a devastating truth. Someone from within their own corporation was feeding information to the enemy. Not an outsider, but blood. Their uncle. The betrayal shattered them. The youngest, Ming, broke down in tears, feeling more pain from family betrayal than the threat of losing the fortune. Rui, the 3rd brother, blamed himself for never noticing, and Zhen locked himself in his office, convinced he should have protected their systems better. But again, in the silent hours before dawn, Jian heard her voice, steady and calm. "My sons, the world destroys those who fight alone. Unite. 5 pieces of bamboo tied together never break." With renewed resolve, they moved together. Zhen built an impenetrable cybersecurity wall and traced the stolen data. Han secured their workers and kept the public safe from sabotage. Rui traveled abroad, meeting investors face to face and rebuilding trust. Ming created the campaign that melted public hearts, reminding the nation of their father's legacy of charity and honor. And Jian led the war with the grace of a king, proving in every boardroom that the Liang spirit was not dead. Days turned into weeks of tension and relentless effort. They lost sleep, lost money, lost friends. There were moments when it seemed they would fail. When reporters mocked them, when the markets refused to trust them, when the company doors almost closed forever. But the turning point came when their mother's old letter resurfaced, written before her accident. In it, she said, "If the empire ever falls, do not fight for the wealth. Fight for the name. Fight for each other." Those words ignited the final strike. The truth about Zheng Yu's corporate sabotage was exposed. Their uncle was arrested, and the Liang Conglomerate regained its standing. Not overnight, but with dignity and justice. The brothers stood side by side on the day the company reopened its main headquarters. Cameras flashed, reporters pushed forward, and the world witnessed what unity looked like. Inside the hospital, without warning, a miracle finally happened. Mei Hua's fingers moved. For the first time in 2 years, her eyes opened. The brothers rushed to her side, crying without shame. She looked at them, her voice a weak whisper, and said the words that echoed far beyond the hospital walls. "My sons, I did not save you. You saved yourselves. You saved our family." The Liang Conglomerate lived on, not because of power, not because of wealth, but because 5 brothers remembered that the strongest empires in history were not built by stone or steel, but by hearts that refused to abandon each other. And so the story spread, inspiring thousands. A story not of perfect men, but of broken sons who became whole again. Guided by her mind, driven by their love, and united as one. Family is the empire that never falls.